ears. Hope that this message finds you well. I'm coming to you live from early Saturday morning. Welcome to Module 3. This week is brought to you by our Random Fact of the Week. Check it out, check it out. Whenever a cat slowly closes its eyes and opens them again, or winks at you, that means they trust you and recognize you as a friend. Maybe you've seen your cat do that to you. Or the neighborhood cat, who knows? I think maybe the logic seems to be like, if your eyes are always open and focused, then you're on alert, right? So obviously you can't trust whoever you're looking at, because you're observing to see what they'll do. But if you close your eyes, then you make yourself vulnerable, and when you're vulnerable, you trust the person, right? I think that might be the logic behind that. But interesting, huh? The more you know. So take a look at our syllabus. These are our signposts for the week. We have our first current event to Sunday, and the homework assignment from last week. Remember the intertextuality lesson? The MLA practice worksheet is due Tuesday. And we also have our first peer review workshop. So hang on. That's what we got in store for this week. Let's take a look here at our Canvas page. We got this ready. So you're doing the first step, which is watching this video. Very good. The next step, if you'll recall from last week, we did the lesson on textual analysis, and we learned to move from denotation to connotation. So riding on the heels of that, we have both this discussion board, and as you'll see, surprise, surprise, our essay will be on that. So first thing you got to do, remember we did with the textual analysis, we would take notes of things we noticed from the posters and things like from the article too, the Onion article, which is funny, by the way. So when we were kids, a lot of the things we would see, like the picture books or the Dr. Seuss, like sometimes the things would go over our heads. But now that we're older, we can revisit them. Now that you have this knowledge of how to perform textual analysis, you are ready, my dear 101 ears. So what you're going to do, watch this video with paper and pen in hand. Write down the things that you notice. Golden quotes, those are the salient quotes, the aha type of quote, something that stands out, or something you see in the visuals or in the plot, just things that stand out. Ultimately, you're going to be writing a thesis statement for this story, like pretending you're writing a paper on it, a textual analysis. This is the model that I think is the most helpful guide to follow. So say, okay, what's the larger message or theme or takeaway of the story? How does it reflect it? What are the connections to real life, if at all? And usually fiction does have connections to real life. And then implications. So it's like, so what? Why does this message matter? Why is it important? So check out this sample thesis. If I was writing on, say, the Lorax, let me get some water really quick. So check out this sample thesis. So I was writing on the Lorax. Notice how I follow these things. What's the larger message? How does the story reflect it? Connections to real life, and so what? So check this out. In the story entitled The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, the writer forwards a perspective of eco-criticism. The story's larger message is that we should protect and conserve our environment. The story vilifies the idea of industry by way of the antagonist, who's known as the Onceler. Conversely, the ideal of nature conservation is celebrated, as embodied by the story's protagonist, known as the Lorax. Okay? So how does it reflect it? Now, connections to real life. The story's message of the importance of protecting the environment connects to real life because there are a lot of industrial practices that harm our planet, such as burning fossil fuels and carrying out deforestation in the name of progress. I say that because that was a big part in the Lorax. We need to push against these practices and instead demand that our planet's well-being be prioritized. Okay, so now the so what? Why does this matter? This argument for protecting and conserving our environment is important because it ensures that we have an attitude of doing our best to preserve and take care of our planet's resources. So similarly, you'll be doing it for this story, for the Sneetches. As you're watching it, be thinking, how can this connect to real life? Like, what's the larger message here, and why is that message important? So that is that. I have this chart to help you. And it's just a reminder, just like what we did with textual analysis. Remember, you're trying to move from surface level to deeper level meaning, considering things like indirect suggestions, what maybe there's a social cultural overtones, or obviously answering the so what. But in this case, the main thing, don't get frazzled, I want you to just follow this. Make it easy. And as you're going to see, my dear students, if you like the story so much, or if you like your thesis so much, then absolutely you can move forward and further develop it. And you can write on it if you want to write on it for your paper. You can absolutely write on this if you like, or any other picture book or anything like that. You'll see what the essay is. It's basically this, textual analysis. So following this guide is helpful. So I look forward to seeing your thesis there. Let's see, what else can I cover in this overview video. Okay, we got the signatures. Okay, we have our first peer review workshop. Actually going to include a video in this one, so check that one out. Here is the link for the MLA practice worksheet, which is due Tuesday. And the current event, first current event, I also have the video for that in there, so please check that out. So that is that, my dear 101 ears. Keep working hard, keep moving forward, and see you next week.